Let's finally talk about Genesis Testament Volume 8, which is the latest volume of a certain magical index. And my god, this volume was just a total mind f***. The plot twists absolutely blew my mind, and I'm really excited to talk about it. I'll try my best not to go into heavy spoilers at first, but I will later in the video, just to let you know. While overall this volume had some crazy ass moments, which I did appreciate, I think I still prefer GT6 and 7 to 8. Simply because I think my expectations were so high after what happened at the end of the previous volume. GT8 does continue right off where 7 ended, with Touma and Arata vowing to protect Anna Sprengel from not only the Bridge Builders Cabal, but also the forces of Academy City, as well as Alistair's small group. Anna Sprengel drafts a plan, which involves our trio having to head to District 15 on the other side of the city to obtain a physical item which will allow them to threaten the Bridge Builders Cabal by exposing their plan to the world. While many fans thought this story would be a rehash of New Testament 10, with Touma protecting a former villain against a wave of opponents to fight, it doesn't really play out that way. Okay, Touma is on Anna Sprengel's side, it isn't a boss rush like NT10. Our trio of Touma, Arata, and Anna Sprengel hijack an Academy City tank called a Predator Octopus because it has 8 wheels. And with it, they are trying to be as incognito as possible. It's basically Girls und Panzer gone stealth mode with index stuff thrown in. They know that if they are spotted, they would be easily outnumbered and overrun by their enemies. And with the Bridge Builders Cabal having about 30 members and possessing the Shrink Drink, a spiritual item with Alice's power capable of killing transcendents such as Anna and Arata, they really can't afford to be spotted. Hey, I just realized the acronym for the Bridge Builders Cabal is BBC, which could mean British Broadcast Corporation, or no, Aeon, no!
Yeah, boy.
While our trio are pretty powerful in their own right, they don't want to take too many risks. Academy City is basically on lockdown due to Accelerator introducing martial law. There are anti-skill checkpoints across the city, preventing them from progressing, so our trio's journey is nowhere near as smooth as they would have hoped. While the volume did start off with immediate action in the prologue, it slows down a bit in chapter 1, focusing on slice-of-life moments with our trio. Admittedly, I did enjoy these moments, as I feel Touma, Anna, and Arata all have enjoyable banter and chemistry with one another, with some genuine laugh-out-loud moments. Most of the volume involves travelling to the checkpoint, which is sprinkled with some fights and escape scenes to spice up what would be quite a dull story otherwise. However, nearly all the fights before Chapter 4 were cut hella short, which I did not like, as I wanted to see these fights go on for a little bit longer. I guess it's because I was expecting some kind of freeway war between the factions in this volume, which obviously did not happen, so maybe my expectations made me feel this way while reading it. I did like the premise of this volume overall, but yeah, it just feels like we have been waiting a while for some climactic action in GT, which I hope we will finally get next time. The main fight in GT8 against Mutt Thieves happens in Chapter 4 and had some creative use of action with shifting environments and of course using tactics in the classic index style. Mutt Thieves herself could be classed as the main antagonist of this volume, since out of all the adversaries after our trio, she is the one with the most screen time and the enemy that we learn the most about. I'd say her character is interesting and definitely improves the more you read in the story. While she is a calm and collected assassin type character, which may come off as boring at first, she does have some quirks to her personality, which makes her more engaging. I'd still say I prefer Arata and the Bologna Succubus a lot more than her. Despite this, Mutt Thieves has a pretty creative ability, even if it does take concepts of other villains' powers, such as it revolving around her shadow. Basically, she can absorb anything her shadow touches and then use it as a functioning weapon. Throughout the volume, she's basically collecting as much Academy City tech as possible and then using it to grow stronger throughout the novel. I mean, it's not the most original power in the world, but the way she uses it does feel unique. Moving on to some of the other characters, I have to say Alistair and Anna Kingsford's group were really entertaining. I enjoyed pretty much all their scenes. Part of me wishes we got a little bit more. Also, Kingsford is absolutely waifu material. I mean, just look at her. I don't care about being exposed as a simp for the emoji queen, you gotta make exceptions. I feel like Touma himself here was very strong in terms of his writing. His selfish and morally grey side comes out a lot in GT8, which I really appreciated. And he is also very willing to work as a team, which shows you his subtle character development from all the way back in NT is blossoming nicely in GT. I'd say this is a contender for the best Touma we have seen in GT so far, next to GT2 and 5. It helps that he is faced with some pretty serious problems in the story, as not much really works out for him. Like, goddamn, he's unlucky. Now, I'm going to talk about the major spoilers from the volume, so you have been warned. You can skip to here if you want to hear my final thoughts though. We finally find out the truth of the Transcendents, that they are actually volunteers who basically model every aspect of themselves to fit into the Cabal, altering their appearances and personalities to fit in the hope that Alice will be able to make their dreams of saving a particular category of people come true. New individuals can be easily recruited and trained to replace lost members. In fact, due to Aradia betraying the Cabal, Mood Thebes brings in a brand new Aradia, which absolutely blows Touma's mind. His reaction to this is one of the best parts of the volume. And honestly, I like the new lore regarding the Transcendents, as it makes sense. Kamachi has been building up to this for a while, although as ever, there are still some unanswered questions. Anna Sprengel and Alice are pretty much the exceptions to this rule, as they are classed as irregular Transcendents, meaning these two are the only Transcendents who aren't actors. But now, it just makes me wonder, where do irregular Transcendents come from? I guess we will just have to wait for that again. We still don't know how the Bridge Builders Cabal even started, which was implied to have occurred recently. That's something I'd really like to know. We did learn both the Bridge Builders Cabal and Anna Sprengel's goals though. First with Anna, basically she wanted to foil the Bridge Builders Cabal's plan while also spreading knowledge to the world in her own messed up way of trolling everyone. And at the same time, looking for someone she describes as her king. You drop this, Touma. Basically someone who would be willing to follow Anna's teachings and methods to improve the world as a whole, as Anna looks down upon most people, but she's still trying to find someone who is worthy of her standards. While she mocks Touma's intelligence multiple times in this volume, treats him like dirt, and always calls him a fool like Mr. T, I guess she realised towards the end of GT8 that Touma is her man. Now the BBC has a similar goal in that they are also looking for a certain someone, a person to unite all their different conditions to save the world. They want a saviour who will be able to fix their problems and make their dreams come true, and so decide to resurrect the only man fit for the job. Guess who's back, baby? No, it's not Jesus. Meanwhile, Anna Sprengel is hit with numerous shrink drinks after she stopped Touma from trying to save her. Apparently, it doesn't kill her straight away. Therefore, after defeating Moot Thebes, Aradia and Touma decide to threaten Alice with the shrink drink to get her to save Anna Sprengel. Oh, how naive. The BBC have revived none other than CRC, Christian Rosenkreutz, also known as the Rosenchad, which I actually thought would eventually happen if you watch my previous GT videos. With this new body, Rosenchad appears as an 18-year-old man with a beard. Finally, an index character I might be able to cosplay other than Aqua. While the Cabal think they've summoned a legend who will save the world, in fact, the stories and myths about CRC were a lie, as he actually thinks humanity fucking sucks and is hell-bent on wiping them all out in the pursuit of perfection. Yep, HT Trismegistus done goofed as he watches Alice, the girl he simps for, get Mortal Kombat fatality'd as Rosenchad one-shots her by crushing her skull. I bet no one predicted that. While Alice's death seems impactful, I can't help but think good old Mary is just going to revive her next volume. So the emotional weight and impact isn't really there for me at the moment. Although Alice's death means the Bridge Builders Cabal can't recruit new members. And of course, Touma will be unable to save Anna. I really want to see Touma's reaction as he finds out he can't save save her and that Alice has been murdered. I think we will definitely see an even more darker Touma as a result, as I don't want to see CRC falling victim to the Talk No Jutsu. Anyway, Anna Kingsford and Alistair arrive as they prepare to stop CRC no matter what it takes. Seriously, Kamachi, you better not let Alistair die again this time, or I will be injecting copium into my veins. Oh yeah, and it's also teased Accelerator might actually get his ass out of prison. And that's how it ends? Seriously, Kamachi, how many cliffhangers do you want in GT? Overall, this volume was a pretty enjoyable ride, with some seriously shocking moments and highlights. I don't think the themes of this volume were as deep or meaningful as GT6, and I think GT7 might have had the better individual character moments. But hey, GT8 is great on its own merits. I'm curious to learn more, and I pray to God that we get a high-stakes climactic hellstorm of a volume next time. My hopes are high. I will rate it a GT8 out of 10. And don't forget, tomorrow I'll be doing a podcast discussing all of the spoilers from the volume in full that I wasn't able to talk about here. So don't miss out. Link in the description, and check out my other videos about GT on screen right now.